Today we're discussing 5 things no one tells you about retiring abroad. I'm Shawn, Queen of DC, full-time solo traveler. On this channel, I post my travel tips and adventures from around the world. If that's your vibe, subscribe. I designed my life to retire early. After 31 years of living in Washington, D.C., it was time to leave and embrace the next chapter of my life. I am not getting a retirement check from a company. I'm not getting Social Security, DI, none of that. I had to design my life so that I can live abroad and live the lifestyle that I'm living now. I have a video on my 6-step program that I followed, my plan that I put in place to the letter. It worked out perfectly, and in December it will be 2 years that I've been living abroad. What I've learned is living in a place is entirely different from just visiting. Number 1, let go of your expectations. Things won't be always how you imagine. Instead, arrive with an open mind. Be willing to give places a second chance. When I travel, I do my research, and I may talk to people who've been to a particular destination. I arrive with an open mind. I really do. Even with all the stuff I've heard before, it's still on me and my interests and what I like. Because when I first told people I was going to Thailand and Bangkok, they were like, oh no, just spend, you only need 2 days in Bangkok. That was the sentiment from a lot of people that I spoke to. Oh, it's so hot, it's sweaty, it's busy. Give yourself 2 days in Bangkok and then go on to Chiang Mai. You know, I take the information in. Baby, I got to Bangkok. I'm a city girl. I loved Bangkok. I ended up staying in Bangkok 2 weeks before I moved on to Chiang Mai. It was wonderful. The city vibes, the metro is extensive. The people weren't bothering you, nobody in your business. I can walk everything I needed, from the night markets, lavish shopping malls. Bangkok has it all. If I had listened to them, I would have been very disappointed. I never listen to other people when it comes to that. I follow my first mind. I went with an open ticket. Go with an open ticket so you can keep an open mind, right? And you can just flow. And if you want to leave early, you can leave early. If you can extend your time there. But that was me keeping an open mind, not listening to what other people said, because that was their experiences. And I want to create my own experience, and I know we are all different. I loved it. And when I went to Chiang Mai, that was more nature. I love nature. I'm all city girl. I could just spend a few days. That's where you should have told me to spend a couple of days. Another thing with Chiang Mai, the first time I went, I stayed in a hotel in the touristy area. I stayed maybe about a week, and I didn't like it. And I was like, wow, they told me to go to Chiang Mai, stay longer in Chiang Mai, and I love Bangkok, and they told me to leave Bangkok early. You can't listen to people. But you know what happened? Maybe it's just where I was located in the region, and I didn't like it because I was around a bunch of tourists. I just don't like, I love being around the locals. I like the vibe, and it just didn't feel right. I enjoyed my time there that week, but it wasn't a place that I was enthused about. I went to Krabi. I loved it there. And I got sun poison really bad. I couldn't go on to Phuket. And I said, you know what? Let me give Chiang Mai another chance. But this time I'm gonna do it differently. I am going to rent an apartment. I'm not gonna stay in a hotel. I am going to work on my visa to Vietnam, and I'm gonna give it a second chance. I went back. Man, I had a blast. I love Chiang Mai. I got to meet up with my travel sisters. I had dinner together. We went to events, Muay Thai events. We just had a good time. It was relaxing and chill. And I say, now I see why people like Chiang Mai. I did some tours. They have the malls too, a nice mall. It was a relaxing time. And that was because I came back that second time. I kept an open mind, and I said, I didn't explore enough. Let me take my time, go back, relax, and give it another chance. And I really enjoyed it. It was a nice place. I highly recommend Chiang Mai, Thailand. Malaysia, where I'm living now, Kuala Lumpur. Let me tell you this story. Some of you may know, but if you don't, I have a video linked above, meeting Yuna. Watch that after you watch this. I learned about Malaysia through Yuna because I loved her music, and you know Yuna, her song Crush featuring Usher. I see you on a lazy afternoon. I think I got a crush. I think I got a little crush on you. I hope it's not too much. But anyway, that's how I learned about Malaysia. And I said, when I come to this part of the world, I am going to visit KL. When I first got here, I said, whoa, this is nice. The people are nice. They have the beautiful, gorgeous Petronas Towers you must see in person. Rooftop bar. They're going to give you a skyline view. The view is gorgeous. It's affordable luxury. They have the malls. They have everything. And I said, you know what? This is a nice place. But Malaysia is known for their food. Now, let me tell you, I stayed here 2 weeks. Food wasn't hitting. The food was not on point. I told my girlfriend, I said, I love the city. I love it. I can see myself being here, but I don't know. I don't think I can because the food, I'm not finding the right food. They keep talking about they have good food. Everything I eat has no taste, no flavor. It's dry. It just it's not appeasing to my palate, and I don't know if I can stay here. Yeah, because food is important. I left and I went on to travel to Bali, spend some time in Bali, and then spend some time in Singapore. And after Singapore, I said, you know what? I would spend a month in each country because I think after a month, that lets me know if I could live in a place or if that would be a place that can meet my criteria for living. I didn't give Kuala Lumpur enough time. I'm gonna go back, just like I did with Chiang Mai. And I'm gonna spend some time there because Americans come here, you get a 90-day visa stamp. So you can stay for 90 days. It doesn't cost you anything. I came back, man. When I came here initially, I didn't have any expectations, but going back to what I said earlier, sometimes you gotta give places a second chance. 2 weeks wasn't long enough. I came back, now I'm living in Malaysia. Can you believe that? I came back and I got to really talk with the locals. I started meeting local people. I started finding out where the dining places were, where local foods were, and the food is delicious. It's very delicious, it's very flavorful, and I'm like, woo, I was on the wrong scene. I needed to be where the locals eat. I needed to talk with them, get out in the community, take my time. Once I did that, my whole perspective changed. If I had not kept an open mind and come back and given it another chance, I would have never met Yuna. I got to meet Yuna and go on stage with her, ask her questions, and now she's my bestie. So watch that video linked above. That just speaks to keeping an open mind. Secondly, consider the infrastructure, the systems, and the overall setup of a country. Take Southeast Asia, for example. It's not just hot, it's hot and humid. And when I'm saying humid, sweaty, I walk out the door in Vietnam. This is February, March, and I'm just drenched in sweat. Cambodia, oh my God, in Cambodia, gee, every time I walked out the door, as soon as I walked out the door, this is how I look. In Malaysia, it rains every day. It's not just hot and humid, but it rains every day. It rains for about an hour or two, and then it stops like it never rained before. Can you adapt to that climate? That's something you have to ask yourself. Rainy seasons. What I do is Vietnam has its rainy season, I leave because their rain is different from Malaysia. Their rain, it really doesn't stop. It just keeps raining and raining and raining. Where Malaysia rain, it stops. Throughout the day, it stops. So those are the things that you have to adapt to and ask yourself, do I really want to live in a hot, humid, rainy climate? Also, think about the infrastructure. The streets, do they align with your lifestyle? For example, Vietnam. Honey, I live in Da Nang, Vietnam. They don't have no sidewalks. The sidewalks are not made for walking. They're not pedestrian friendly. The streets is uneven because you got all the motorbikes, the restaurants, the businesses. And it's very challenging if you have mobility issues. I would think twice if I have mobility issues trying to walk around Vietnam because it's hard for me. For example, in Da Nang, green space is limited. I run. I need green space to run. I need parks. They have the beautiful beach, and I just can't run on the beach all the time. I have to balance the great things that it has that I like with the things that offset it some other way. And I offset it by living in another place where Malaysia has all of those things. They have the green space, they have the running paths, they have the street infrastructure. It's a walkable city. Vietnam is not a walkable city, not Da Nang, it's not. And those are the things that you have to ask yourself, can I adapt to if I'm living in that particular country or city? And I had to pivot, be creative, and split my time, and now I have the best of both worlds. I didn't move to face hardships. And I don't think you understand the level of peace and ease that you can find in a place until you discover it. And I've discovered it in Southeast Asia. And let me tell you, once you get a hold of it, once that you know that you can live a life of comfort with ease, peace, no one bothering you, no pervasive negativity, you will never go back to a place where that is profound. You would never, where you have to deal with that. If you do go back, your job when you get back is to come back. How can I get back to that place? Because it's a freedom that I want everyone to feel and to know. I have not had to deal with any Karens in Southeast Asia, and that level, that freedom right there, not to have to deal with that interaction, that negativity, it is, I'm telling you, it's amazing. So when they say you come over here and you can retire in peace, you're responsible, you're giving back to the community and contributing to the community in which you live. We're grown. I'm talking about, we're adults. We know how to act. So the childish stuff, no, I don't have to discuss that. You will feel so light because in the places I've named, particularly in Southeast Asia, no matter where you go, I hope you find that peace. But I'm in Southeast Asia. I am telling you the amount of peace and freedom that I have, just peace of mind. Vietnam, Thailand, Malaysia, these are not people that are going to argue with you. That's not their style. That's not their life. They don't have time for it. Vietnam particularly, they're like, take your money and leave. Bye. If you're not happy, here you go. Goodbye. No stress. Now what they do among themselves and in their culture and with their people, I'm going by how they treat me. And they are not confrontational. Don't start no drama here. We're not having it. And I love that. I don't give it and I don't receive it. If you're living in a community, it's important to learn the language. Try. As I'm navigating my day-to-day life, I learn the language. They're helping me learn the language, but that will come soon in a formal education setting with someone teaching me. And I'm going between two very different languages. So I am figuring all that out. Thirdly, consider culture, especially around boundaries. As an American, what might feel rude to you could be completely normal elsewhere. Adjusting is the key. In Asian countries, I've found that people tend to stand closer to you than you're used to. And I do have to ask them to back up, or I'll have to put my hand out because, I mean, they are on my back. And no, we can't have that. I understand, there's a difference in boundaries and what's the norm, but you got to get back. You got to back up. I'm not rude about it. I just politely ask them, to put some space, or if I see them coming, because they will come, I'll just kind of extend my hand out to prevent them, to give us some space between us. Or you just ask them, and sometimes they'll act like they don't know what you're talking about. But again, you can make it known in a polite way. Or a more, assertive way. You can make it known that, can you please back up? That's a good phrase to learn in any language. One of the culture shocks in Malaysia is when they're serving you at a restaurant, they don't bring your food out together. They bring it out as it's prepared. If your dish is ready first, they'll bring your dish. And so it may take 5 minutes before the next person get their food, but that's how they do, because they are used to eating family style. Malaysians told me, well, just ask them. I'm not messing up their routine. This is how they do it. I have to adapt, and I'm okay with that. I just, being from an American etiquette, because I'm Miss Etiquette. I have a whole Success with Etiquette training program I developed and created, successwithetiquette.com. Go check it out. But so I'm all about etiquette, but that doesn't apply here because it's different. Now, I just eat my food when it come out. My friends understand. I'm not being rude. It's just the way it's done here. I've adapted, and that's one thing you will see when you come here, and a lot of Americans have that shock. Wow. Where's my food? It's on the way. You get it when you get it. They haven't forgotten you. Check out my video linked above on Malaysian culture shocks. It's interesting. You'll be surprised by some things. Fourth, flexibility. It's essential when retiring or living abroad. Places may not open early like you're used to. That's good for me because I sleep late, so I'm like, yeah, they're on my time. Where was I? In Paris. Oh my goodness. In France? They didn't wake up till about 11 o'clock? What? I was like, I love it here. I love it because I'm not getting out of my bed until 1 o'clock, okay? Every place is different, and you just accept it and adjust your calendar, your schedule to meet theirs. Particularly in countries where they're not rushing, they're taking their time, and they're easygoing. You have to stay open to their customs and adapt to their way of life. That's where you're living now. And if you don't like it, you can leave. And you know people who are constantly complaining, well, they do it this way. We don't do it like this. We do it this way. Always the comparison. If that's how you feel, you have the flexibility to leave or adjust. It's really that simple. Embrace and respect the culture. And you gotta have a sense of humor. You gotta laugh at yourself. You gotta laugh at the situation sometimes to keep from crying. Mishaps are bound to happen. It's just, you're living your new life, you're adjusting. You gotta laugh at some things. It's always important to visit a place if you're interested in living there, but again, understand, when you visit, you may not see all the nuances that happens on a day-to-day basis when you live there. And that's why you have to keep an open mind and be flexible. Fifth, remember that you always have options. If a place isn't working for you, you can always explore someplace new or split your time creatively, as I have, to find what suits you best. Maybe you want to go back home. There's no shame in that. This is your vision, this is your dream, and what works for you. No one else has a say in it. Block the noise. You are not tied to one place. And I love that. I spent 30 years in Washington, D.C., and I said, now I am free. I think I can have homes in many places. Don't just limit me. People say, well, where are you gonna live? Where are you gonna settle? I don't know. I'm still exploring the world. I don't feel like I have to have a home in one place after being in one place over 30-some years. I have an Eastern European spot in Bucharest, Vietnam, Malaysia. Where else? I mean, eventually, I was supposed to be in Paris. That is where I was supposed to be when I first started out. But who knows? I'll probably end up over there if I can get away. If I can break away from Southeast Asia. It's hard. It's hard. With the affordability and the euro and the quality of life. But anyway, You have the choice to explore and to move, and you don't have to be stuck in one place. It's your dream. Don't think about what others are thinking or might say about you. It doesn't matter. Your vision. Stick to your dream. You made the choice. Your resolve. Do it your way. Design your life. You can hear the rain in the background. I told you it rains every day. Listen. That's the rain. It's soothing. Let me know in the comments where you are on your journey, whether it's abroad or somewhere closer to home. These are the 5 things that you need to know when you're retiring or living abroad. I hope this has been helpful. If you have something to add to the list, leave it in the comments below. If you've gained value from this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Until next time, y'all, I'm going to enjoy the soothing sounds of the rain. Peace.